Hey, Matthew.
Heyo.
What is going on?
Chilling like a chia pet. I'm pretty sure I've said that before.
Have you?
I don't know.
I don't know either.
We're doing a podcast called Gamers 2. It is focused on video games and random chit chat from myself and Nathan.
Perfect. I did everything. I think we're good. I think we covered a lot of bases right there.
Good. It was a good run, guys. See you next week.
Yep. So that's that's what we're doing. Normally we try to stick gaming, but don't
Normally.
really, yeah.
Entertainment as well, and just general life tips, like don't use feminine hygiene products, and
Did we say don't use?
I did,
Okay.
and cars are cool.
Yeah.
Trying to think about what else we talked about.
We hate drivers.
We hate people.
That's not a life tip.
Be a better person.
Yeah. Don't be stupid.
Be a better driver. Respect your fellow man and woman.
What have you been up to?
I tell you what I haven't been doing.
I can take a guess. It starts with a G and ends with a G.
That's called video games. Gaming.
There you go.
Is what he was going for there.
Just as long as you figured that out.
I mean, technically, I've been playing video games. I've been playing Lego Harry Potter.
That
Assisting
counts.
With the other half's campaign
Okay.
to conquer the Wizarding World via Legos.
I feel like that's a different Harry Potter. I don't think Harry was ever out to conquer the Wizarding World. Feel like that was Voldemort.
Well, yeah. I mean, from a certain point of view.
That's true. There is a fan theory about Dark Lord Harry. But that's
Dark Lord Harry is the best Harry.
I agree.
Other than that, I've watched some more Gundam, as I do the dishes to kill time.
Yes, the good old Dishes Gundam.
Yep. And I watched Black Panther.
What'd you think?
It was okay.
Yeah.
I would have if I were making the movie, I would have focused on other things. I don't know. I think they kind of like they yeah. I would have just done things differently. I like the characters. It's just they focus too much on what's his face's CIA character there. I feel like
Martin Shorts.
Yeah, instead of they should have spent more time, with Killmonger and what his dad was up to, I think.
Yeah.
When prior to getting stabbed in the chest with claws.
Right.
Anyways, what have you been doing? Living
really,
a fruitful life.
Really, I've just been playing WoW.
Oh my God. He's in deep.
Not like long, like hop in, get my stuff done, get out. Because I haven't really been playing much. It's been that. It's been watching Bosch. I watched Black Panther, watched some baseball.
What'd you think of Black Panther?
I liked it. I didn't really see. For me, there was no. It was weird, like how much they were focusing on him for parts of it, but at the same time, I didn't really find any faults in it.
Yeah, it was
there was more I wanted, but there were times where I was just like, yeah, it's a good movie.
I thought I wouldn't. I don't want to say I thought I wouldn't like it, but after watching it, I kind of wish they would have spent more time, maybe more movies on Black Panther's origin, because the world's the interesting part. The whole Wakanda and what's how their culture is and stuff like that is the interesting part, I think.
Yeah, I agree.
And the dynamic between Black Panther and Killmonger is cool because they're essentially the same person, but if they were, if Killmonger had been raised in Wakanda, he would have turned out
a butterfly effect situation where
exactly.
It's just two different paths, and there you go. It's yeah, but with volleyball, I haven't Like I
The
come
old
home
volleyball.
and update some stuff and go to bed. I don't usually have enough time to like sink into an MLB game that I want to or anything like that. So I just kind of get in and get out of stuff.
Getting a little of that Surway life where you don't have time to do things.
Kind of.
Ugh. It's just a good thing you don't have a significant other because then you just have no time, period. You know what I mean? Between that and volleyball, you'd just be screwed. No video games for you.
Grass is always greener, buddy. Always.
That's true.
And I did finish reading The Speed of Sound. Caused me to be up late one night because I was like, I'm at 85%. I'm finishing this damn thing tonight.
Verdict?
Verdict,
leave it.
Good. I enjoyed it. Annoyed at how it ended off. Because I've said this before. With something I know that is a book one of a potential series, fine. But they end it and I go, well, come on. You couldn't think of a better... Like, I don't know. I don't need to read book 2. Like, I was all good, like, at least to be like, oh, okay, we'll see what, like, maybe I'll read the synopsis of book 2.
Does it not, like, wrap up well?
It wraps up its story and then immediately takes off with it how it wrapped up. Like,
do you think we're getting to a point in our society, whatever you want to call it here, entertainment, where they're just, like, shoving sequels down our throats too much? Because I feel like...
kind of. I think they can still be done well, but the I don't know if it's that... I don't know if I want to blame the writer or the publisher of like, oh, okay, yeah, give us another book. And they're like, this was like a one-off story I had. And they're like, no, make another one. Or it was the other way around. They're like, listen, I got this idea for 16 books. But it, like, without, like, it's not going to ruin... I'll do the... overarching. You're not gonna read it. What do I care? Bad guy has one person manipulated.
Okay.
Or has one guy on the inside watching somebody. That person he's watching ends up being removed from the position. New person gets installed. Different person is now watching new person. So it's like it's I don't want to like ruin it at the same time. But it's not... Everything wraps up, and then immediately the same problem happens again. And you're just like, well, fucking...
Yeah, it kind of like takes away from the original book.
Yeah.
I feel like when they start recycling storylines.
It's like, okay, Killmonger's dead. And then he goes back to Wakanda. And then Killmonger Jr. is just standing there. And you're like, no, wait, come on. Like, is this how we're doing this? But yeah, that's... the disappointment I had with that. Shall we go right to it?
I guess. We got new releases. I'll read them off.
Thank you.
We'll switch it up.
I like the switch up. Look at this curveball that's getting thrown at you people, huh?
New this week. Blaze Blue. Cross Tag Battle. PS4, PC, Switch. Far Cry 5, Hours of Darkness DLC, which did not get favorable reviews, I might add.
Interesting.
Yeah. All platforms that Far Cry 5 is on. You figure it out. Happy Birthdays, Switch.
No idea, just funny to me.
Yeah, it's an interesting title. Onrush, PS4, Xbox. Runbow, I almost said Rundown. PS4 and Switch. The Elder Scrolls Online, Somerset. I think it's Somerset Isles, I think. I don't know. Whatever. Somerset.
Something like that.
Is it Vampire or Vampire?
I call it Vampire.
Okay. We're going to go with Vampire.
Somebody will yell at me. No, they won't.
PS4, Xbox, PC. Bloodstained Curse of the Moon. Xbox. Shape of the World. Xbox, PC, Switch. MotoGP 18. PC, PS4, Switch, Xbox. Sushi. I love this one. Sushi Striker, The Way of Shushido. It's a tongue twister.
Yeah.
Switch and 3DS. I saw that one come in, and I was like, this is the game. This is the one right here.
This is the one. This is the reason I need to buy a Switch.
Yeah. So that's the new release for the week. Go out.
Now, as much
Discover
as
them.
we like switching it up, How should we do this? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I guess I'll take one.
Okay.
All right.
That's a ballsy move.
I know it is.
All right.
But I also know what the story is, so we're good. Okay. Number one of our news headlines for the week of June 8th.
the enthusiasm in your voice right there was
amazing, wasn't it? Yeah. All right, number one. Rockstar has announced pre-order details for Red Dead Redemption 2. I feel like these things just keep getting more complicated, which is why I'm not listing all this shit out. Trust me when I say that it is ridiculous. The important stuff is that pre-ordering digitally will get you GTA Online cash, which is interesting that they're blurring the lines between the two games. The part that caused some backlash was that the special edition version and higher do get a bank robbery mission and other in-game content. Rockstar has commented that it will not affect the main story. The hubbub from this was that the screen cap I saw, I'm sure you saw it too, was the standard edition and everything listed in the standard edition. Then it was the
special edition,
deluxe edition or special edition, and everything listed in that. Both listed full game, and then right below full game on deluxe edition was full game, 2 new missions, and then on the other standard edition it was full game. So like, do they not know what the definition of full game is?
So I started listing out what the different editions had, and I wasn't even halfway through, and the article was so long because there's like, they need to come up with like a flow chart. Like, and I was trying to cross-reference it too because like there was misleading information in some of the articles and stuff. But like, you know, if you order it on the PlayStation Store and the Xbox Store, you get like this stuff and this. If you order it digitally in general, you get this stuff, but this thing, and like it just turns into this, like, depending on which retailer you order it from, there's different stuff depending on what version you order.
That's the thing that always had annoyed me too, because Rockstar's not the only one that does it.
Yeah,
but it was always like, pre-order at GameStop for day one access to something, and I'm like, no.
I used to care, and then I got to the point where I'm like, you know what, this is just not worth it, because half the time you end up unlocking something in the game that's like almost the same exact thing.
Unless it's Medal of Honor Warfighter, in which with Medal of Honor that you got the Elite Pack day one from pre-ordering it, which took you, I don't know how many stupid in-game hours to get to. So try playing multiplayer on the first day and getting raped. Sorry, specific, like...
There are those ones.
That one struck a chord. Struck a chord in me.
Number 2. Bungie continued their slow march forward by revealing the next expansion for Destiny 2. The expansion is called simply Forsaken, and it'll start off year two on September 4th. I feel like there's like cotton balls in my mouth today. I don't know why. The next expansion will feature the Reef, since it'll mostly be based around a breakout from this prison of elders.
Wait, it's going to be breakout of an old Sorry.
Yep. Oh, we could go on.
Oh, we can just continue to shit on Destiny as long as we ever have.
We're going to come back to that. Remember that concept.
Oh, I'm remembering it.
There'll be a couple new locations, a new raid called Dreaming City, a new mode called Gambit, which will combine PvE and PvP, new supers, and bows is a new weapons class. The new Gambit mode is a 4x4 race where 2 teams in separate arenas. It's going to be a rough one, guys. 2 teams.
We're in the second headline. Matt is fucked.
It's 2 teams in 2 separate arenas racing to kill NPC enemies while also interfering with each other's progress.
Wait, Titanfall? Sorry.
There's some other stuff, obviously, but I doubt anyone is still super interested in what is going on with Destiny.
Unless you have always been playing the game since launch.
And to go back to the rehashing old content thing, some of the updates that they're doing to the game before the new expansion comes out are like reverting to Destiny 1 style weapon drops with the rolls and stuff like that.
Oh boy.
So it's funny.
Yeah, I want to go off, but I've complained on this show before about Destiny, and I don't need to do it again. Killing it, Bungie. Can't wait to see you on Monday with Sony's press conference.
It's going to be so exciting.
Number 3. Telltale has shown off an E3 teaser for the final season of The Walking Dead with a release date of August 14th. The more interesting part is the mention on some of the changes they are making for the new season. Telltale said that players can expect a new over-the-shoulder camera system and scenes with unscripted combat. Thoughts?
Yeah, what do you think?
I know it's funny that I read thoughts to you, knowing that you don't give a shit.
Yeah.
But
you're the Telltale. You play Telltale games, so I mean, like, how's that stack up?
I've played Telltale games.
Yeah.
I don't dabble in all of them.
They're all the same, roughly.
Pretty
up
much
until now.
same engine.
Mm-hmm.
The over-the-shoulder camera, whatever.
Yeah.
As long as it doesn't like break anything, like it's not going to be that crazy or like new, like not really newish ridiculousness. The unscripted combat is the interesting part because their whole script is like choosing, like you just have to, like a fight breaks out and it's like, all right, hit left now. Do I not hit left? Like unscripted meaning I'm actually fighting. Like I choose when I'm supposed to hit and stuff.
Like button mashing or something.
Or unscripted as the person comes at me and I now get like 6 options to do things. Like just dive wherever, but it's still like semi-scripted. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So we'll have to see how that plays. I don't know. It'd be weird to go with everything scripted and then just get to a fight and it's not scripted. So I don't know. Telltale's really good at telling a story. So giving you freedom at that point is kind of weird.
Yeah, I'm curious to see what people's reactions are to that because it does seem to break from their mold.
You know what my favorite part about this week is?
What's that?
Because I knew it was getting late last night.
Yep.
And I was like, I'm betting he's probably just getting into this, and I know he doesn't have his predictions done for our next episode. So I was like, I'll hop in, see where he is, and I'll start writing up some that I haven't written since, like, I don't know, week 2. Or, I don't know, who knows, whenever I stopped writing the doc.
Mm-hmm.
Writing the doc, in quotes. But now, some of me is in here.
Yeah, there is.
And the next one you get to read is my writing.
And I haven't looked at it. I haven't read anything you wrote. So
it's the same way I read them.
Yeah.
Which
is, I was thinking about it the other day, and I'm like, that's a really, like, bad. Like, if we were trying to be, like, professional, I guess, about it, it would be like, you know, it would switch hands twice. Like, you'd write the things down that you want to talk about, I'd write it up, and then you'd look at it again and be like, all right, I'm going to change a couple things or whatever.
Yeah.
And then that way it's like,
I would actually edit. I would actually go in and be editor about it.
Yeah.
But at the same time, like I said, go fuck yourself, San Diego. Like, I'll read it.
All right.
That would be if we were a news show, we would very much be Anchorman.
Yeah, I know. I'm surprised we haven't gotten into that of the trolling yet. Like trolling.
Oh, I thought about it after like today.
There's kind of an
right
air...
as we got to this point where I'm like, shit, I wrote some of these. I could have fucked with them.
That's the interesting part, though, is there's an air of uncertainty because we don't know who's gonna start.
Yeah.
So it's like you don't know if you'll be screwing yourself or screwing the other person. So
yeah.
It's kind
so
of
then you're like guessing, do I start putting my stories out of order and just dropping things in randomly? Yeah.
Okay.
Anyway.
Could be interesting. And then every story just turns into like
every story is
shit fest.
Yada yada Activision semen. Wait, what? Oh boy.
All right, number 4. Pokemon will require subscription to play online on Switch. A statement from the Pokemon Company, Pokemon, and I quote, Pokemon Let's Go, Pikachu, and Pokemon Let's Go, Eevee, will have online play functionality, battling and trading with each other, with other players. Oh, you got me good, iPad.
Oh, I thought you were going to say me. I was like, this is literally a quote.
No, my screen turned off. All right. A statement from the Pokemon Company, and I quote, Pokemon Let's Go Pikachu and Pokemon Let's Go Eevee will have online play functionality. Battling and trading with other players over the internet or locally will be available in these games. However, the feature set will be somewhat simplified in comparison to previous games in that there is no GTS, Wonder Trade, or Battle Spot, rating battle, free battle, and online competition, etc. For example, further details will be revealed at a later date, and active membership for the Nintendo Switch online service, which is scheduled to begin in September of this year, will be required to access these features. End quote.
So it's a long quote, but it literally says everything
Sums everything up
that we're questioning.
So, see, this is the confusing part because there's I hate that they're called the Pokemon Company because it like messes me up with the like how to identify it with Nintendo. You know what I mean?
Yeah, the Pokemon Company is a developer of Nintendo.
Yeah. But every time I see company, I'm thinking it's a separate entity, which it's not. But
Or the Pokemon Company is a publisher for Nintendo's
I
platform because Game Freak exists underneath the Pokemon Company.
Yeah.
Like we can get there. I mean,
we'll get there. So what do you think? I mean,
no shit. That's where I think like.
What's the point in having an online
service if you're not going to make games require it?
Yeah.
I just think it's good that they got out ahead of it.
Yeah.
And didn't because there's the Nintendo stepping into this realm. They have to be ahead of it because nobody's expected it from them before. You could do all this online stuff without paying, but now it's like, hey, remember, going forward, you're going to give me money to do this.
I have no horse in this race, and like I have no idea of the way that the community flows. So I'm real curious to see like the service itself is cheap. And I'm curious to see how people react to that whole concept of like having to give money to play these games online. Like if it's going to become some sort of like hotbed topic or if they're just going to accept it and there's going to be like literally no fanfare at all.
Yeah. I think what they have going for it is it's $20 a year.
Yeah, that's so cheap.
Like
comparatively, it's crazy.
At a point, you almost can't even argue against it because it's like, yeah, it should be free. I have to pay my rental part, like my $1 or what would it be? 12 or 20 divided by 12 is what? Like $1.25?
Something like
$1.50?
That. Close enough.
Somewhere around there.
I'm not doing math right now.
All right, I'll say $1.25. I know I'm not right. Who cares? Pay that little bit a month for like my access to the server. Like that's minimalistic. That's not even the power consumption for that server.
Well, what's going to be interesting is going to be once it's up and running and Nintendo starts having like the development issues to where they're like Sony kind of went through it where they like their service needed to become more and more elaborate.
Well,
and
luckily
we need money for this.
For Nintendo is like coming out immediately and being like, "There's no voice chat, so fuck yourself." Like, they're already going like, "We're only giving you the access to play with each other. That's all we're doing. We're not doing anything else because we can't handle it."
Well,
but eventually they
will.
Yeah,
is the whole fact that it's so cheap might end up biting them in the ass because they're going to have to like. If everyone who owns a Switch is like, let's do online, and Nintendo's not ready for that, it's going to be real interesting.
The launch month will be very telling.
And then the security side of it, too. Like, I'm sure there's going to be groups who are just, like, chomping at the bit to start, like, DDoSing Nintendo and figuring out, like, ways to bring down their network because that's, like, a trophy now.
There's always assholes.
All right.
Number 5. Crackdown 3 has been delayed till February 2019. Are you fucking kidding me?
This is getting out of control.
This game was announced at E3 in 2014 and has been pushed out of 2017 and now 2018. It's rumored to be trying to give the studio... Microsoft is rumored to be trying to give the studio time to avoid the same situations it had with Scalebound and Phantom Dust, both canceled, and the closure of Lionhead Studios. They will be showing it during the Xbox E3 briefing.
I'm just taking a look at who developed Crackdown. So
I don't remember.
The first one was Real Time Worlds, whoever the hell that is. The second one's Ruffian Games. And the third one is Regent. Regent Studios?
Yes, and
Regent Games.
The creator of the series is no longer with it. Epic hired him to manage like their cloud stuff and esports division or something like that.
David Jones. I don't know. I mean, I don't even know what to say anymore about Crackdown. Like, it was one of those IPs that everyone was super hyped for, and it didn't come out when it was supposed to, and now everyone I feel like is getting the whole like fuck you mentality about it.
Yeah.
They can't like Xbox. Man.
It's so fun. It's good for them that they came out in front of E3 rather than get to E3 and then at the end of the video go 2019 and everybody goes, Are you kidding me?
I want someone to do, like, I want someone to use this as, like, I don't know the words I'm trying to come up with right now. The words coming out of my mouth. No, like, it would be funny if Xbox, like, Microsoft announced this, and then at E3 they're like, just kidding, it's going to be out this fall, or it's going to be out in September, or whatever. Like, I want, for once, a company to do something like that, because it'd be hilarious. All right, number 6. Battlefield 5 PC specs that EA shared were wrong. On the forums from the community manager, quote, "Hey BF5 community, recently you may have stumbled across PC minimum specs published for Battlefield 5. Please note that those minimum specs for PC are inaccurate, I cannot enunciate today, and were only to be used as placeholders. We haven't announced Battlefield 5 minimum or recommended specs yet, but please stay tuned, as once we do, you'll be the first to hear about them. Thanks for patience and understanding." End quote.
So
makes sense now.
Yeah, there's all the confusion we had last week about
what
how these things do not match up at all are not true.
That's good. I'll take the next one if you want. Unless you want to.
Yeah, we'll switch up now. You take the next one and then we'll alternate again.
Yeah. I threw some. This one's worded all funky, so I figure I'll save you from that.
Yeah.
We have a good old-fashioned core war on our hands.
At number 7.
If you have the money for it, at least.
Oh, shit.
At this year's Computex, both Intel and AMD showed off some serious processors, the first being Intel's 28-core, 56-thread monstrosity.
For servers?
No details on it other than that it exists and it can run Cinebench. Just for reference, Intel's current king is the 18-core, 36-thread i9 7980XE, and it cost $2,000. So, more than that is what that thing will cost. Not to be outdone, there's AMD with a new Threadripper. AMD says it'll be 32 cores and 64 threads, and it'll slot into current TR4 socket motherboards. Sweet. Another processor we can't afford and really have no need for.
I mean, all I'm saying is I haven't bought mine yet. And I would only totally need to buy a new motherboard.
Can you imagine? The Threadripper is going to be probably significantly cheaper. Because the last Threadripper, the one that's available now that's like their high end is like $1,000.
Yeah, that's right around there. But still, it's just...
Did you see the, this is not in the news article here, but did you see there was a little snafu with Intel's processor? Because they had it running at 5 gigahertz.
Oh, okay.
And people, like the way that they presented it was that was the standard clock on it.
Oh. So people are thinking overclocks to 6.
Or that, like,
or whatever, yeah.
Yeah, like 56 threads at 5. It's crazy.
Yeah.
Which it was crazy because they actually had it on a, liquid nitrogen,
Yeah, they're pouring the liquid nitrogen into it to cool it on stage. Like, look at this fog machine. Like, you're not making a fog machine. You're keeping your PC under -5.
I think what they did was the system that they were displaying wasn't the system
running it
that was actually running, or there was something going on there because it didn't appear to be like anything special about it. And then later on they're like, oh, actually it was overclocked and we were using
the good old smoke and mirrors trick. Yeah. Look at the guy holding the controller. He's not the guy playing the demo, but he's holding the controller. Number 8. That being said, there's also that other processor coming out.
Yeah, the 8086.
Yeah, 8086.
Were you tempted at all by it? You probably were until you saw the price, I'm assuming.
I was like, okay, I'll take a look. And then I saw the price. And I was like, no, never mind.
Yeah, I mean, it's not worth. So for reference, there's the i7 8700K, which is, you can usually find it pretty reliably at around $300 street price. Less if you shop around. They have an anniversary chip that's coming out called the i7 8086, an anniversary of x86. And it's essentially the same processor, except it has a higher turbo clock, I think.
I think so, yeah.
Yeah, whatever. And they are selling it for $425.
Something like that, yeah.
Yeah.
Number 8, the Ocho.
The Ocho. How fitting for this game.
Is it?
I don't know.
All
It's
right.
weird, extreme sportsy type stuff, extreme racing.
Yeah. The Crew 2 has laid out its plan for its content release post-launch, both in the Season Pass and free updates. I'm only going to mention the free updates because they seem way better than the Season Pass does to me. The 3 free updates are in September, then winter, and then spring. September starts with hovercrafts because fuck it, why not?
That's cool.
And also a new loot system. Not detailed, but new loot system versus the one they already have. That was weird to me.
Yeah.
Winter, whenever that is in winter, will bring a new PvP mode, but they have been hush-hush. And they're probably holding those deals along with the spring deals, or spring details for Ubisoft's E3 show on Monday.
So, speaking of the loot system,
Okay.
the weird thing I found with...
we played the Crew too.
We
We
did.
should be real clear, but we played the beta. We didn't mention, neither of us had that, but we played
Yeah.
the beta.
Yeah. Which I don't know. Can we talk about the... We can, right?
We didn't sign NDAs.
Okay.
Closed beta was free to stream and everything.
So... What I found weird about the loot system is that if you don't pick up the loot after the race, you don't get it, which I find is weird.
I didn't notice that.
There was a point in one of
Because
the
I
races...
always just like had to back up, like not even 2 feet. I was just like
Yeah.
left trigger and there it is.
There's a point in one of the races where, like, I did one and then I immediately jumped into a menu or something like that, and I just kind of ignored the loot, and then like it just like disappeared,
Oh,
and I didn't get it, and I was like, oh, that kind of sucks.
Hmm.
And
I
by
guess
the
if it's
way,
all green, I could just not give a shit.
after we got off playing that one time, I bought a different car and
Okay.
redid the races,
And
it was the car. All right,
Oh,
just saying.
all right. So it was the Miata.
Yeah,
Which car did you buy to redo them with?
RX-7.
Oh, okay.
Stupid Miata. I love you, Miata, but you're just not.
But like, fuck off.
You're just too slow.
The season pass stuff was that you get like 2 or 3 cars a month.
So,
Just like new cars. And I was like, okay. But at least your free update is like the one that's the big one. The actual content one.
what was frustrating for me with that was the first 3 cars that they said
Porsche something something.
were all cars that I was like, man, I really want those cars.
Yeah.
Like,
Season pass is $40. So
yeah,
I mean,
that's not worth it.
there's $100 to get a sweet car if you really wanted it.
No, definitely not worth
And
it.
that's debating if we even buy the game anyway.
I think you liked it, right?
I was pleasantly happier with it. All right, fuck it.
We were, yeah.
Crew
all
2
right,
time.
All right. I
I was
enjoyed it.
pleasantly happy with it versus what Crew 1 was.
Mhm.
I was severely disappointed with its performance.
Oh, yeah. So,
We're in the beginning of June. You have a June 29th release, and you did not render your cutscenes well because they all look like trash.
they did look terrible.
Even your environments, I'm not positive, are finished. Your control in some of these cars, holy hell. Like, Matt's Miata is one thing. My Audi took, like, a while for me to finally... Or it wasn't even my Audi, because the Audi's the one I chose. Whatever the first car is that you, like, do everything in, like, you do the first street radius before you choose it, was so, like, bad in controlling.
It was because I came in like 6th place with that race.
Yeah, I think I managed to come in second in the first one. But I was fighting in second the entire time to not lose control of that car. And the only reason I was in second versus first is I tried coming around a corner and the whole thing just kept sliding. It went straight into a wall. I was like, can I not turn this car?
that was the Miata's issue too. So like the handling's like really arcadey on I feel like.
I feel like it's really arcadey, but it's not Forza arcadey. Forza arcadey I can completely control.
Yeah, well, Forza is like bizarre. It's almost like it toes the line really, really well between like arcade and simulation. It kind of like gives you a little bit of both, but like
because it actually allows you to drift the corner. Where you do it in the crew, which I always hate. I understand drifting a corner makes you go slower. Like technically, yes, it does. But in Forza, when I can actually drift and stay within like a decent like
racing line,
like a decent racing line, and come back out of it with my nose still pointed where I need to be, and then come back and only have like a minimal shake to realign my car. I tried doing it in the crew after you could not drift in that default car.
No.
You basically just brake or slid. And then finally I did it in the Audi, because I was like, what is the fucking handbrake button? Because your regular brakes in the default car would not do it. They would do it in the Audi, but they wouldn't do it in that.
Yeah.
And I would hit it and come out of the corner, and I'd have to like really waggle back and forth to get going again. I'm like, it's not worth drifting.
Yeah. The down resolution stuff, the low texture and stuff like that doesn't bother me because I'm hoping, and this is a big assumption here. I'm assuming that they just didn't render everything in full detail for the beta.
That's what I would assume too, but it's at the same time, it's like the first thing I see is this cutscene that's not rendered.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but I mean, if they were using the beta for its genuine, not to
if you
show
were
off
using,
the
yeah,
game,
if you're using it for your
test.
gameplay and your testing of your physics and stuff like that, it makes sense. It's just like the first thing I see is an unrendered cutscene.
The big annoyance for me for the game is the excuse me, going back to the those performance numbers, that number that's like the recommended whatever it is that they stamp on your car.
Oh, you mean like the part total?
Yeah, like it's like one something or whatever,
It's like out of 250 or something. Because there's the number that you have out of X, and X is your maximum, I believe.
I never even noticed them.
I think what it is because you get the part, each part has a number assigned to it. I think that's your average towards like what your total average can be, or something along that line. So, like, I think I got mine to maybe like 170 something out of 250. So it's like, that reaches 250, and then you can change parts out if you wanted to, but you're there.
Yeah. So
it's the way of saying this car is done. Maybe it's something else.
Maybe it's like my own misunderstanding, but when I was going through cars, I was kind of using that as a reference of how like its performance level would be compared to other cars.
Okay.
And and that was what got me stuck in the Miata because I was like, it has a similar performance level to everything else. So I'll just use the Miata. When I went back and looked at all the stats, like your car's top speed was like 155.
Yeah.
Generally all the cars' top speeds were 155.
Except for the Miata, which was 130.
The Miata's 130.
Yeah, because I remember looking at the top three and I was like, Miata 130, not driving that. 150, all right, I'd take that.
Yep. So that was what inevitably screwed me because then I went back and I grabbed the RX-7, which had a way lower performance total than every other car, and I bought it and I redid the street races that we did, and I had no issue. I went through and I redid them. I beat the times of our last race, and I was like, that's cool. And it just doesn't, I don't know. They need to clarify that or refine it or something like that because they don't give you a lot of stats to begin with. So, like, naturally, I'm going to focus on that performance thing, even though it really doesn't have a good...
Right. The other thing fuck it, why not? I'll just compare the two. That I like to Forza Horizon, at least 3 versus this one, is, okay, I get it. Like, green part, blue part, purple part. Who knows? Maybe there's orange parts. I didn't.
Yeah.
Oh,
cramp.
Whew, no, that was just my hip crack.
Oop.
I'm an old man. Maybe there are orange parts in rarity. Green being lowest, high orange highest. I don't give a shit. Like
that's basically like
when I'm looking at Forza, and I'm like, oh, V6 engine or V8 engine. That I understand that. Not purple 153, green 178. Yeah. Huh.
And it's like
rarer. Does that mean?
And like the flavor text for the parts are like just stupid, like
hood cover. I'm like, okay.
Like when you play Forza or Forza, however you want to say it.
There's a fake T. It's like Nazi.
That's a good point, actually. That's a good reference. So
it's not a good reference.
I know it's a good example. That's what I meant to say.
Yeah, Forza is Nazis. You drive around with Hitler all day. It's a great time. You and him go conquer the outback in Australia.
He would probably enjoy that. Now, what was I going to say?
Kind of did. It's a prison continent.
What was I going to say now? Now I lost it. Oh, when you play Forza, you get the distinct idea that the people that made the game like know about cars.
Well, I mean, there's a reason that when they debut it, they have a Porsche or something on stage every time.
You don't get that same feeling when you play the Crew because it gives you random parts that all have like stupid text on them.
It looks like you took the Crew is the equivalent of not necessarily us making a game, but people that like racing games, but have never delved into like what's inside a car.
Yeah,
and they're like, oh yeah. Okay, so there's these parts. We'll give a value to these parts. There's rare versions. Like, yeah, you want to get the better versions. And then there's just like a power level. This is like, yeah, this part's worth 50. This part's worth 75 because you get it later. And the higher you go up, yeah, okay. And then somebody had walked into the office at one point and like, is it a V6 or a V8? Purple engine. And you're like, what the fuck? What? No. It's a purple engine and there's a blue head gasket, and I'm like, oh god, dude, why you letting Tommy do the fucking part names? He can barely spell his own name, and it's 4 letters. One of them repeated.
All right. So that being said, it wasn't terrible. The racing was okay.
It was much improved from the first one.
I enjoyed the boat racing. I thought that was cool. The off-roading, I didn't mind too much, although like the fact that it's like completely not linear, like it doesn't tell you where to go.
I enjoy
messes me up.
I enjoy that it's not linear. I dislike how unlinear it is.
Yeah, it's like way
because I like that you can kind of go your own path, but there's very clearly moments where I could just be going literally a 180 away from the objective.
Yeah,
because you're just like,
yeah. I wish it like
you get a very Tim Allen moment in you.
Gave you better indicators of where you should go.
The water's all right.
Yeah. I like the water. I didn't like the flying.
No, and once again, flying is so hard to do in games correctly that when a game has it correct and you can compare it to that, it's over.
It wasn't hard. I don't want to say it wasn't hard. It wasn't like it wasn't in the way of the game, I guess.
Yeah,
like, it just wasn't super enjoyable. It was like
it wasn't.
It felt
like,
almost
do some
on.
tricks, and I was like, I don't need to be in a plane. Like it felt very tacked on. They're like, oh, like, planes, trains, and automobiles. Like you could have just got rid of the first one.
The one that I wish we could have done that I didn't get a chance to was bikes. I wish we would have driven some bikes to see what that's all about. But.
Yeah, or both off roading and on street. I would have been intrigued. What do you think of like the story they set up?
I thought it was just a blatant ripoff of Horizon.
I thought it was that.
I did not,
but
like
also it was very Need for Speed.
Yeah,
because do you remember Pro Street? Need for Speed Pro Street. It was the one they took you off the streets because they're like, we're gonna go legit racing, so that you were on tracks the entire time.
I didn't play Pro Street.
You had 4 race classes. You had a grip race, which is your regular circuit racing. You had a drag race.
Mm-hmm.
You had a wheelie race, and then you had a sprint.
Mm-hmm.
So specifically for all of those, I ran a BMW Z4 for my grip,
which was in the Crew.
Yep. I then switched that out when I had too much money and didn't know what else to do, and bought a Ford GT, 2005.
As most people do, have too much money.
Yeah, and to figure out their Z4 wasn't going just fast enough, so get a Ford GT. I had the Lotus Elise for my dragster.
Nate's achievable dream car.
My achievable dream car, except not in a 8-second quarter mile.
You never know.
To the point where I was beating everybody in the game. I was like, I don't know if I'm supposed to be able to do this. 69 Charger for the wheelie car.
Mm-hmm. Everyone's wheelie car.
Yeah. And Viper for the sprint car. Oh, there was drifting too.
Yeah.
I ran a Corvette for that.
All those make sense except for the
Corvette ZX or ZR1, whatever the newer vet, not like an older vet.
All those make sense.
Except for the Lotus. Yeah, the Lotus doesn't make sense at all. Lotus should have been on a grip race. But I drove that thing into the ground. But it was very, you're building up to then race the king of those events.
Yeah.
And it's exactly what this is, yeah, you got to get really known in the street so you can race the street king. And I'm like, I can race him now. I'll probably beat him. Give me the Miata.
I don't know why it's so hard to make a compelling race story.
Most Wanted, like Need for Speed Most Wanted was so good. The original, not the remake. The remake was awful. The original story in that just like made sense. Like, there's cops. You're an undercover cop. Like, not hard. Yeah. It's fucking.
It's Fast and Furious. Yeah.
Without being as bad as the Fast and Furious is.
Hey, first one's good.
They lose track pretty quick.
Yeah.
But it's very that where it's there's that, and you have to work your way up the blacklist. At a certain point, you get betrayed, yada yada. But you're working your way up the blacklist. So all it is just do these races, get more renown, become number one, yada yada. The only thing I didn't like is that eventually they switched it on you to force you to manual shift, and I, at the time, young me could not comprehend manual shifting.
Do that in games because it's just like it's too much effort for
Need for Speed Pro Street. You had to manual shift your drag race. Which
that makes sense.
And it was also really easy.
Yeah.
Both the drag and the wheel, you had a manual shift. All it was just wait for the rev meter to hit a certain point and then just smash A. You know, how shifting works. What are clutches, right?
All right.
To be fair, that clutch would have been burned the hell out on that Lotus.
Yeah.
I would have replaced that every single run.
Yeah. All right, moving on from the crew.
Yeah, let's get away from cars and let's start shooting some people.
In number 9.
Is that too far?
In the wake of Valve's decision on active shooter, and probably to a lesser extent their maneuvering with porn censorship, Valve has decided to revisit their policy on content. Here's a quote. If you're a player, we shouldn't be choosing for you what content you can or can't buy. If you're a developer, we shouldn't be choosing what content you're allowed to create, end quote. So long story short, Valve is allowing everything onto Steam unless it's, and quote again, illegal or straight up trolling, end quote. My personal opinion is that it's a good decision in general, free speech and all that, and vote with your wallet.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, that's pretty much that. The only thing that I think that they could get away with if they didn't want to touch like the free speech thing, because obviously, yes, free speech.
Yeah,
it's literally what it is. We're not going to get into that whole discussion because we've avoided it for the last 3 weeks.
Yay, politics.
Yeah. Anyway, is they can do what brick and mortar does. Your game must be rated for us to sell.
Yeah.
Which immediately puts active shooter in front of a board that goes X, and they're like, we're not selling X. Like, It's just not happening. Or whatever it's not actually, there is X rating, but it's not even that one. It's the one I'm thinking of. There's a rating that you can't sell in brick and mortar, which is why the joke was like you could sell it in porn shops because they don't apply the same rules. But it's like, yeah, there you go. Your problem's solved. But, interesting.
Yeah,
I thought it was interesting because it was a quick turnaround. They're like, that's not happening. And then
that's kind of the beauty of Valve.
Like a couple days later, they're like, okay, we might have gone too far. And you're like, who thought you went too far? I mean, I was in agreement for them for, okay, good that you take it down, yada, yada. I said it on here. I was like,
yeah,
power to them. Like that game shouldn't exist.
Agreed.
Then again, it is free speech. Granted, here's the other problem. If that person's actually in Russia, free speech doesn't apply to them.
That's true.
They are not covered under our Constitution without being a U.S. citizen. I don't care if it says inalienable rights for all humans or whatever the fucking thing it says.
What I find interesting about that story was how much backlash there was.
Yeah.
From like the gaming community, and I don't want to say the community so much as like games media.
I think
there was a lot of people who were just shitting on Valve for being like, oh, you don't stand up for
I think it's funny
whatever.
because games media, first off, is extremely left. Like
that's true.
They are extremely left, which is weird because that means they don't believe. I mean, they believe in free speech, but the left.
It's got to be their.
We're gonna get there. The left and the right are both believing in free speech if it's adjacent to their ideas. You want to stand in the middle; it's the only right place to be. Or actually, don't stand anywhere near them because you'll actually be clean. Both sides just throw shit at each other all day.
Like monkeys.
Yeah, pretty much are monkeys in cages. Where was I going before I derailed myself with anger?
I don't know. It was something about games media.
It's mostly left, so it's funny because they're advocating for active shooter, which the entire left would go, active shooters are a really bad thing. Like that's the game that made them flip. Like I don't. Or did they really need their hentai porn? I'm really confused.
Yeah, I don't. It's just, I don't know.
Yep. So let's get away from Nate being angry at politics and go to number 10. Number 10, PlayStation is annoying me, and probably Matt, with how they are handling this E3. I get it, but come on, where's the damn hype train? They announced Days Gone for February 22nd, 2019, Persona 5 Dancing in Starlight for PS4, and Persona 3 Dancing in Moonlight for PS Vita to launch in early 2019. There's also a new Tetris game called Tetris Effect, which will be coming to PS4, and also mentions that it is PSVR optional. I don't know what you're going to do with Tetris really with VR optional. It'd be interesting. I can see it, but I don't. Who knows? That's going to be coming out this fall. And I can't wait to see what they try to hold back for their hour pre-show right before the event.
So I'm real just to get in on this here. I'm real nervous.
I can't wait
because either I'm just doing weird hand gestures.
You're doing
right now. I know you guys can't see
Mega
it.
Crab Gay.
Yeah. Either they are letting out everything before the show, and the show is going to suck, or they have so much that they're just we can just make it rain and then also have an amazing E3 show. And obviously
the worry for me isn't their pre-show. The worry is the main show, in which they've said 4 things. And if they we're devoting 15 minutes to all 4, and then we're done. And I'm going to go,
what?
Okay. I will, that press conference will end and I'll go,
Yep.
That was a thing. I hope they never do it again. But we'll see.
This is going to be an interesting year.
It really is. And especially with our follow-up episode of predictions, which we have to, at this point, shoot out our ass because a bunch of things have already been said. Or we have to get real specific like Nate's going to, because I talk in the third person now.
There's 2 approaches here. Nate took the approach where he gets right into the minutia of the announcements.
Yeah.
He gets in there, he puts on his waders, and he digs right in there. He's getting in the mud, and he's like, I'm going to find these predictions.
I'm going to say Madden 19, and I will tell you what cleats a certain player is going to have on in the trailer.
Exactly. And then you can do the approach that I took, which is just, fuck it. And I just am like...
Madden's a thing. Predicted. Suck it.
Exactly.
But that comes up next if you're still listening.
All right. Number 11. Hitman 2 is on its way to PS4.
Once
Xbox.
again.
Go ahead.
Real quick. Hitman 2. Cool, right? Would have been a great Square Enix, even though they split. Because technically the license is now owned by Interactive or whoever. Cool, right? Would have been a cool thing to show. Not even at the press conferences, just during next week when there's that 4 days worth of everybody dumping news coverage and stuff.
Yeah.
Nope, we're at Thursday, and here comes Hitman 2.
I don't know. I don't understand their marketing anymore.
I don't understand anybody's fucking marketing anymore.
Hitman 2 is on its way to PS4, Xbox, PC later this year, November 13th to be exact. New locations include Miami and 5 others varying from sun-drenched streets to dark and dangerous rainforests. More ways to play, more game modes, more features, one being a co-op mode. Check out the trailers for both the game and the co-op mode.
Interesting, I thought. First off, we knew a new Hitman was coming at some point. Everybody loved the most recent one, the episodic one.
Yep.
So yes, Hitman 2, not shocking. I like the Miami idea and the super varying levels, at least the way it sounds. And I like the idea of a co-op mode. I didn't watch the trailer for it, so it's my own bad note there. But
I haven't either, so it's fine.
I still like the idea of 2 assassins in a map, even if one is Overwatch and one is in the trenches.
Yeah,
it's having to navigate like crazy situations, like your target just picked up a drink.
I've never been
poison it.
I've never been super interested in the Hitman. But,
Same.
A co-op mode would make me if it's fully fleshed out, I should say, and I would totally.
If it's full of flesh, it's a Hitman game.
Dead flesh.
Get it, dead bodies.
I would check it out though if it's got a neat co-op mode.
I'm just worried that it's just a co-op mode and that you can't like do the campaign co-op.
Yeah.
Which is the you had a great idea, you just needed to go a little further.
Yeah. Yeah.
Number 12.
A dozen.
Avalanche, makers of Just Cause and Mad Max, have announced Generation Zero for a 2019 release ahead of E3. Gen Zero is what I'm going to call it from here on out, probably. Because Generation Zero is too long. Gen Zero reimagines Sweden in the 1980s, except that machines are invading the country. Up to 4 players are fighting back against the robots that are persistent, meaning that if you merely damage them, they'll remain that way until you face them again. Whenever you face them again.
Yeah.
2 minutes from now, 3 weeks from now. Avalanche hinted at team-based strats like combining skills and sharing loot, but this game can also function as a solo FPS. It is self-published, coming to Xbox, PS4, and PC, and this must have been the game that sold Nordisk Films on buying them, because we had no idea who they were.
Yeah.
But they bought them and have a game coming out now.
It looked, did you watch the trailer?
No.
It looked interesting.
As I was writing everything, like there were trailers all over. I'm like, I can't click on these. Like I need to just write.
Yeah. It wasn't like, it looked very rudimentary, but it looked like it had potential to be like, it's like Left 4 Dead kind of, you know, like.
It looked like that or I had it mixed like Left 4 Dead, State of Decay, and Horizon Zero Dawn.
Yeah. Yep.
Like the robots very much went multiplayer Horizon. That's weird, but the graphics did not. Just the robots kind of looked that way.
That could be a prediction.
Horizon Zero Dawn 2?
Well, that is a prediction, but
that's a super bold one.
I'm saying multiplayer for Horizon.
Oh, that'd be interesting. Or
it is bold. That's why it's on my list.
Or The Last of Us.
A little teaser for you.
Oh, there's a teaser. Look at Matt trickling things out for us.
13.
I can't wait when him and I guess 10 different things between the two of us
and
don't overlap at all.
What's gonna blow my mind is if we like are right on some of these, I'm gonna be like, what the fuck?
If we're right on any of these, I'm tweeting all the companies and going, you need to clearly get more imaginative people because we're not part of the industry and we nailed all of it.
13. There is a 4th Just Cause game on the way. More than likely announced during Square's conference. Didn't they officially announce it by now? I think they did.
Maybe they did. Maybe they did today. They did not as of yesterday.
More than likely announced during Square's conference. But if you log into Steam right now,
which would have been Thursday night.
Exactly. I don't know if it's up now, but right now you may get an ad for it. Clicking more details only redirects you to the main page, though. I thought I don't know.
They might have confirmed it today because last night it started happening.
Yeah, I'm just trying to remember.
Because people that were launching Steam were getting the ad pop-up that you normally get that's like, check out the new things, and Just Cause 4 is right there. And they're like, what? Which was another one where I'm like, cool, Square stuff, Just Cause. Oh, nope, that's fucking ruined. Because I can't even guess where they're going to be, because it's going to be some fake country somewhere. Like, what prediction? The only prediction is that Ricardo Rodriguez is not in the game. And I'm like, that'd be bold, seeing how he's in the picture.
Takes place in Wakanda.
The character is now a mute. And you don't shoot a gun. The entire game is done passively.
Okay.
Just cause. Or, as one might say, just cause.
Ooh. Breathe in. Sharp pain in my chest.
Ooh. You should check your lumps.
My lovely lady lumps.
Ooh, 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 ooh. We can be Fergie. Probably
Sure.
less mentally deranged than her.
More attractive, too, if I say so myself.
I mean, I always have thought so, but that's beside the point. Number 14.
14
14. Some interesting industry ripples that may make waves in the future. Aren't ripples already waves? I just want to be clear about that.
I mean, we
can ripples make waves?
You know what? It's just the
Ooh,
metaphor.
got Matt with semantics. Moving on. Number sub 1. Bullet point item number 1. J.J. Abrams' production company, Bad Robot, has entered into a partnership with Tencent to launch a new division called Bad Robot Games. Warner Brothers Interactive is also a minority investor. Getting into bed with Tencent can lead to bad things. Or great things. They have a fuck ton of money. And AIDS. They don't have AIDS. I'm saying, like, they clearly have the cure for AIDS, which is, as we all know, cash.
I'm genuinely curious as to what J.J. Abrams would do with a video game.
Make a new Alien game that actually doesn't suck.
Shots fired.
At a lot of things. Prometheus, the video game that actually ties into Alien and doesn't suck like the movie. J.J. Abrams, all I can think of is Alien references. J.J. Abrams got a new license from Disney about Star Wars stuff because EA sucks.
Oh, you got Star Trek game. That'd be nice.
J.J. Abrams takes another failing franchise and makes another failing game out of it.
Listen, you be careful with these failing franchise accusations.
I don't think Star Trek is a franchise that's failing, but I don't think its games have ever done well. Can we stand up with that one? Can we agree there?
They had one game, all right,
from Star Trek Online?
From like the 90s, maybe early 2000s.
Oh, okay.
Where you went through the Klingon...
Klingon Academy? Are you talking about Klingon Academy?
I'm talking about Klingon Academy. Shit's fire.
The shit was...
Fire.
Yep. All right. So, bullet point item number 2. Apple had its annual Worldwide Developers Conference, and hidden somewhere in there was the news that Apple is no longer supporting OpenGL and OpenCL. They instead recommend that devs move to the Metal API, which is, of course, Apple's proprietary 3D graphics API. So yeah, games might have it rough on Mac.
Again.
As if they haven't already. Because if you want a gaming machine, you don't buy a Mac.
That's true. They were getting more support.
And annoyingly,
there,
you buy a Windows one, which I still wish you didn't do that either.
Linux.
I wish.
Yeah.
There's a lot of stuff that works on Linux, like that runs on Linux game-wise, but then there's a lot that doesn't. Like I have 300-something games in my Steam library.
It has just enough support now to where it's like viable but annoying.
My foot really itches, sorry. Yeah, it's viable, but you are still limited. Like I think 300-something games in my Steam library, and if I switch to a Linux machine, it's immediately like 100-something. Like I lose almost half my library.
Yeah, but like, are you gonna play any of that library?
No, but I don't know what's in that list. Like that's because it's my uninstalled list. So who knows what's not supported all of a sudden? Until I'm like, oh yeah, let's go play Ghost Recon. Oh, it's not on Linux. All right, well, I'll switch them back. Bullet point item number 3. Never let me do an actual like presentation with bullet points because that's how I will discuss them in a boardroom. Be like, as you see here, by bullet point item number 5.
I'm gonna do
and
that.
I'll show my laser pointer like
I was just gonna say,
somewhere else.
I'm gonna do that and give you a laser pointer.
And I'm gonna be pointing it at 1. I'll count them up from the bottom. Anyway, number 3, Computex, new keyboards, cases, and blah 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 blah. Thanks, Matt.
Yeah. That was basically just, hey, if you want to see new cool shit, Google Computex, and you'll see like, everyone's got new cases out. You got your RGB LED all over the place. You got your actually Corsair.
I'm gonna wear some LED pants.
Cooler Master, I think it was Corsair or Cooler Master. I don't know. One of the two came out with this really interesting keyboard that was low profile mechanical keys, and it was like hyper minimalist. So it used like the flat like laptop style keys.
Chiclets.
Yeah, chiclets. Thank you. But
I only know because I had a desk stalker.
The switches are low profile mechanical switches.
Okay.
And like the keyboard itself has like no space outside of where the keys are basically, and it's just a big aluminum slab. Not big aluminum slab, but aluminum slab.
Interesting. Tournament edition?
Yeah.
No numpad. No numpad is tournament edition.
80% or 10 key less, or whatever you want to call it.
Yeah, I call them tournament editions just because nobody uses a numpad in like the FPS tournament because you're usually confined for space.
It was something that would appeal to me, minimalist.
Yeah.
Monolithic.
Yep, one color.
Yeah.
No fun lights.
And then what else was there? Oh, Seasonic came out with this crazy PSU attachment that basically was like a it was meant to be like this thing that you attach to the backside of your motherboard that you could route all your PSU cables to, so that you could like hide your cables better.
Oh, all right.
So kind of like a bridge of some kind. Yeah, different stuff like that.
Interesting.
Mm-hmm. New cases, tons of new cases. Everyone likes a new case.
Everybody likes a new case. You know what else everybody likes?
Deals.
Oh, hell yeah, they do. Good segue. It's the only good one we've ever had.
Good one we will ever have, period. Making an appearance that I probably should have waited till this week instead of saying it last week is Sony's Days of Play event, which, games on sale. Not going to go over them again. They're okay deals. I did see the blue and gold PlayStation, though. That's the Days of, whatever, what's it called? Days of Play event, special edition.
Yeah.
It's interesting. It's sexy,
Yeah. So Sony's got a sale.
Sony's got a sale.
Starts now. Runs to the 18th.
Correct.
You know what else has a sale right now? Humble
Bundle.
You know what they have a sale on?
I don't.
Because I can't speak English? Oh, you bet your ass I am. Devolver Digital products. You know who has a conference later that we also aren't going to discuss in the next show? Devolver Digital.
I never know when their conferences are.
It's the Sunday night one that's like super late or whatever. That's that midnight one always. That's like super fucking weird. Midnight for us, 9 p.m.
Yeah.
I just don't want to predict anything because I just want to enjoy it because it's always just lunacy. And
yeah, it's just crazy.
You can't predict what Devolver's going to do, so who cares?
What was it last year? It was like didn't the computer eat someone or something, or like
no, that lady was screaming and bleeding, and there were the doctors, and it was like 12 minutes. It was madness.
It was. It kind of was.
We were all sitting there. We're all like, "What is happening?"
Nice palate cleanser for E3.
Yeah, it really switches up the game real quick. It's like, hey, how about we do this? Now here's Nintendo, and you're like, wait a second. So yeah, go to Humble in the link in the description and buy some Devolver stuff if you want. It's like Ruiner, Genital Jousting, Serious Sam is in there, Broforce is in there, Swords of Ditto is in there, Gods Will Be Watching is in there, Ronin's in there. I mean, there's a lot of games in there. But Genital Jousting is like $374. And if you ever wanted to stick a dick, you know what I mean. You know what I mean.
Just check it out.
Just take a look. Genital Jousting. That's GEN.
Nate's favorite game, apparently.
I don't even own it. It's just hysterical to me when I see people play it.
Maybe we should live stream it.
Rated 18+. And if it's not, it should be. There's also an Xbox E3 sale. I just pulled a couple of things to highlight. These are all like via Microsoft, not from somebody else. If you buy 3 months of Live, you get 3 free. So, pretty good deal. 6 months of Live for 3 months. For 3 months cost.
There's something weird happening inside me.
All right, perfect. As long as you're not going to die in the next 5 minutes so I can get this done.
Let me just let the listeners know, all right? I'm burping up a combination of iced coffee and potato salad that has dill in it.
I'm so happy I can't smell that.
And it's just, it's disgusting, to be honest with you. It's just like, I don't know how to react to it. Anyways, continue with the deals.
Also, in this Xbox deal, if you can get 1 month of Live for $1.
Ooh.
So I believe you can get 1 month of Live for $1, but then you can
Oh,
to get the 3 month to qualify for the other one. I believe you have to buy the 3 month card, not the individual month card. And then game wise, Monster Hunter for $39.99, Sea of Thieves for $38.30.
That's weird. I still wouldn't buy it.
I don't know if they did. I don't know if they did like weird percentages, but I saw it said $38.30. I'm like, I'm calling that specifically out. But yeah, I still wouldn't either. Wolfenstein 2, $19.99.
It's a good deal.
That's a really good deal, I think. Far Cry 5, $39.99.
That's not bad. It's pretty good.
COD World War II, $39.99.
Okay.
I mean, at this point,
Yeah.
I'm surprised it's not $29.99, but I mean, I get it. Assassin's Creed Origins, $30.
Definitely a good deal.
Big game.
Game's
And there's a
fucking
bunch
huge.
of other ones in there, too. Those are just the main ones I pulled. And Good Old Games, which is GOG, which has the Galaxy launcher, competitor in quotes to Steam, has started a summer sale, and it is going until June 18th on PC. They're the DRM-free platform of choice. But yeah, they have a deal going until June 18th. So if you want a bunch of summer games before Steam summer starts, go for it.
Hit it and quit it.
Boom, boom, pow, chicka chow, something, something, yada yada. But that's it for this. We need to record a follow-up episode, which is going to go live right away after this one, same way they always do. And that's going to have all of our predictions for the E3 conferences that start tomorrow, Saturday, which is going to be EA, followed by Sundays, Microsoft, Bethesda. We're not predicting Devolver.
There's no predicting Devolver.
I think they're Sunday. They might be Monday. Then Monday's conferences are going to be Square, Ubisoft, and Sony. We'll have predictions for all of those. And then Tuesday is Nintendo. We'll have predictions for that one as well. Is there anybody we're not predicting?
There was someone else, and I can't remember who it was, but we didn't.
Oh, we're not doing the PC one.
There's other, PC. What was the other one? Yeah, well, whatever. We'll figure it out.
Yeah, we won't do the PC one. PC and Devolver are the two we don't do. But yeah, listen to that one. Where should they have listened to this episode, Matt?
Everywhere's gamers2.com.
That works for me. Good enough. Spotify, iTunes, Google Play, gamers2.com.
It's literally, it's. I don't want to say it. It's not literally everywhere, but for the most part,
you can find it on Facebook. You can find it on Twitter.
Everywhere's you would be.
You can find it on YouTube. The audio files are up there now.
If you're not on a service,
get on it.
That doesn't have us on there, then you're on the wrong services. Right?
That's true. That's damn true. All right, we'll see you in about 30 minutes. Bye-bye.